And welcome back. We're picking where we left off last time in the Long Dark on Interloper, where I've got a decision ahead of me on what do I want to do with the character for the rest of the day and the night. So I'm carrying my fuel can, which I should leave down at the fishing spot. So dropping off, that's apparently going to be one of the things we're going to do. Could do a bit of beach combing. That wouldn't be a bad way to spend some of the day. Yeah, plan right now is we have a way that we can force an Aurora to happen, which is if we start, or if we ready for trade, what we currently got loaded in the trade thing, plus I think 1 liter water, so we don't want to wander too far off. The next night we'll have an Aurora. Now we got something we need to do in Pleasant Valley during the Aurora. So if I time it, so I trigger the Aurora, say early morning, and spend the entire day getting out to where we need to interact with the Aurora in Pleasant Valley, we'll be able to advance that quest using that triggered Aurora. Now, honestly, we probably don't want to start the Aurora this late in the day. This late in the day would be a little bit late. But we could definitely make some progress on that quest. Okay, so we came back down here because we were carrying the jerry can. We don't want to take the jerry can with us. We want to leave it here. The other thing is I probably don't need to bring that many fishing hooks with us. It's, or at least the fishing tackle with us. Go down to 1 on, actually, no, let's go down to 0 because we've got the stuff to assemble into more. Got an arrow to assemble, and we can ditch some of our scrap metal and stuff. So I'm going to do a bit of beach combing, then we're going to go to... well, we'll see what time it is when I feel like I'm done with the beach combing. We'll either go to the garage and sleep out the night in the garage, or we'll sleep on the night on Distant Through. So we're closer to drop off the liter of water early in the morning. Looks like a new fish.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Move it so it doesn't despawn when the beachcombing cycles. Ruined animal fat, okay. I believe the ruined animal fat can still be turned into grease, animal grease. For cooking. Doesn't work as lantern fuel, you need the fish grease for that. Which can't be used for cooking, so trade-off between the two effects, I suppose. Well, you can render it down into, well, the animal fat. So I think that one's too far out, so we're not going to be able to harvest that one. I think that one's been here multiple times, which is why I know it's too far out. I believe this one's actually been glitched to permanently be there. Tweaks in the beachcombing formula have made it so that's not an appropriate place for things to spawn anymore. even if it is an appropriate place for things to spawn, it is not an appropriate place where you can retrieve them if they require interaction time like that one does. So I suspect that you can't actually get things to spawn there, which is why it hasn't despawned, is because whatever moved and removed that as a viable spot has broken the despawn logic, so it's been there for a while. So that is the bug you probably won't see in your own game, unless it's an old game of The Long Dark, because I believe that requires certain things happen that don't happen in the current patch. I hear the howls, and my game senses are still paranoid about the Timberwolves from the last time we had them out here on the ice. I think the Timberwolves only spawn farther in on the ice. They don't spawn this close to the coast. But that was the first time to be wrong about everything, so. I'm gonna try not to make an assumption that may or may not be true. So we're gonna fish there. I might pick that fish up and carry it back, and we'll leave a couple uncooked fish next to our fishing hut. The animal fat from something that washed ashore during the beachcomb. But otherwise not any great beachcombing for today. Yeah, we'll pick up the fish and bring the fish on the way back. I know this is a beachcomb fish, but it's a ruined fish, so we can't use it for trading, but we can use it for making lantern oil. So I'm going to bring it back to our fishing spot, because it's got a purpose, and it can join the pile of fish to be cooked. It's not viable fish to be eaten, but it is viable fish to be cooked. And we know there's nothing down the coast, so we'll go up and over the island looking for sticks. One drawback about carrying the fish like I am is, in theory, I will attract the wolves if I get close enough to them. One fish doesn't smell that much. And I believe items that smell are on the per item basis, so bigger fish do not smell more than smaller fish. I believe it's every fish smells a certain amount. This is Jackrabbit Island, which, as you can see, Jackrabbit Island has rabbits. And some meat from before. We'll go eat some fish when we'll go past the fishing spot. So we'll leave that meat there. Not getting the best deal on sticks, but that's fine. We're taking what we can get easily instead of the branches and limbs, which were a little bit more abundant on that crossing. We're going to have this ruined fish. We'll drop both of these back off at our fishing hut. And then we'll go back to beachcombing while the weather stays good. I think Wolf's getting a rabbit. Can't see the rabbit here, but the wolf can see the rabbit. At least smell the rabbit. Yeah, the beachcomb's a little disappointing today. Though, well, no, the second fish was from an earlier beachcombing, wasn't it? So we only found one fish. We're adding it to a pile, effectively adding it to the two fish we've already found. And we're a little bit lighter with the fish left behind, so we'll get a little bit more speed continuing on the beachcomb here. And yeah, I think at this point, we'll go do Jackrabbit Island, or do Misanthrope Island for the overnight rest. Is that a piece of fabric? That is a piece of fabric. Okay, that's a little bit of a better find. That's something. Worth of something. Leave that there. Definitely in dusk now. Yeah, so if we readied the trade now, we get the Aurora right now, which would not... Well, as soon as dusk would end, which isn't the time we want it. Very much not the time we want it. A little bit for firewood, not bad find. Let's see, something spawned the beach coming, so that's where we'll go. Still have the fog to see... Well, we still have the line of sight to see that distance. Well, that's actually not beach coming, that's fire left from when we harvested a carcass. Probably a carcass washed ashore from beach coming, so that does mean this is a location where beach coming can spawn. Not seeing anything. Doesn't mean there's nothing out here. Oh, I think I just saw something. What it is, and if it's worth the walk out there, is two different entirely different things. But it is a thing. Pair of shoes. One pair of shoes. That's probably going to get turned into leather when I have the time. Oh, there's something. Be the cloth. Work swap. And here's the potentially holy grail of stuff. Tell that the Beachcombing here has been modified at some point because stuff's floating.
I need to drop
Ruined
something.
fish. Stacked ruined fish.
The sun's setting. It's gonna get a lot colder soon.
Ooh, and the fish is heavy. Okay. How do I want to handle this? Because I've got too much stuff. We've reached too much stuff. Stuff's got to get left behind or consumed. We'll consume the tins and sardine. I'll save a little bit of weight. Drink some water. Oh, we got some big whoppers of fish in here. Which, yeah, we're gonna have to leave the fish behind, I think. Yeah, now we got reasonable weight, and we can get back to where we are. We'll just have to remember that we've got fish down here. Or not, we can probably figure it out, it's just fish. And it's ruined fish, so it's just gonna get cooked in lamp oil anyway. And some of those were stacked, so those are obviously glitched. Yeah. So yeah, I think the plan right now, get back to Misanthrope. We got enough food in us that we're not desperate to get food, so we can wait until the morning to get food. We'll do some maintenance stuff while we're in Misanthrope before we sleep, and then we'll sleep for 10 hours. It'll be early morning then, which will be a little too early, I think, to start the trade. Or deliver the trade. But we can do some basic stuff like go feed ourselves with fish beforehand, and wait until it is properly daytime, and then start traveling. See if that feels a little bit better for the frog in the throat. Oh, I was getting a little bit of frog in the throat there.
If I don't rest soon, I'm gonna faint.
He says that, but it's got a couple hours, which is more than we need. Tomorrow, leave Misanthrope, get fish, get water, trigger the trade, hike out to Pleasant Valley, and we'll have pretty much all of in-game day tomorrow to get to the Pleasant Valley bunker. Now, whether or not I have enough time to get to the bunker and get to a radio set to shout up Sutherland, that one, too, might be a little too much. We might only be able to do one or the other. Because that's all going to come down to how long the Aurora lasts for. Okay, so I'm going to use 50 minutes assembling these fish and tackle. And this is mostly so that we sleep most of the way through the night. Trying to be productive with our time and not wasteful. And we have some bridge work to process too, so we'll do that as well. Sharpen our tools. And it's too dark to do any sewing, so the sewing will have to wait until a different time. To be fair, the sewing will probably wait until we get to, like, the farmstead. Because if it's still daytime when we get to the farmstead, then we'll be waiting for the day to pass. What's left of the day to pass. And 10 hours of sleep. And we say hello to the really early morning. Okay, it was actually a little bit later than I was expecting it to be. So let's go trigger that trade and get to it. Got a corpse on the beach. Well, I say on the beach.
Mouth so dry.
Where the water reaches the ice, we got a corpse. Okay, so trade drop box. We need to drop off 1 liter of water, which we'll do. Ready to trade. So now there will be an Aurora come this night. This would be a human one. I think the human ones have a small chance of matches. It's a real small chance of matches, but you have a chance of matches. We got sunlight? No, not enough sunlight to start a fire. Because we did have enough to do some fire, to light a fire, take a lit torch off of that, and we walk around with a lit torch for safety. But we don't, so we're just gonna have to... go. Well, could spend a match, but it's not worth a match. Match is what I'll spend if we have a emergency pick past like a wolf. And oh, it is cold. Barely been walking, and we're almost cold. So it's a little bit of sprinting here, otherwise we're gonna take a bunch of cold damage. Trying to get where we're going.
Hey, I'm so cold, I'm warming up again.
So we're going to eat here. We can then eat when we get to the Crossroads Cave out in Pleasant Valley. That's a little fish. It's not going to be much calories.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Yeah, now we definitely got enough fish. Hopefully get us full. Drop. Hydrate. Get down to like about 2 liters of water. And we got places to go. So we'll warm up in the cabins over here. And get a little bit of the feedback, which is why I'm not worried about sprinting. Then it's up the slope into the cave, out the cave at the other side, or up the slope into the mine, out the mine on the other side, down the bit, and there'll be a cave with some food we can eat again to make up for calorie loss to sprinting. Hopefully right about then it'll have warmed up a bit, so we'll do a little sprinting. know where the log sort, the log float, or whatever you call that. One quick hour snooze will get us warm, and we'll be on our way. If it's not level cold, we'll probably start taking damage again before we get up to the cave, but at least it'll be a little bit more progress before we need to stop. Yeah, still pretty cold. Log sword, okay, that's... Now, is the thing in the log sort called a log sort, or is it a log float? That's a good question. One I'm not 100% sure I have the answer to. Trying to strike a little bit of a balance between taking damage and getting there faster. Because we could take a moment to warm up in here, but then we'd be getting in there pretty slow. Instead, we're going to skip over here and keep walking. Which is one of the reasons why I'm taking the sprint here once in a while. Just gets to where we're going faster. But it is still pretty cold. I think if we sprint 3 times, 3 full sprint bars worth of sprinting, we'll get there without taking damage. And yeah, we have about half a day. We'll have about half a day to get across Pleasant Valley from one corner to the other. And I'm pretty sure, well, I haven't run into Timberwolves in Pleasant Valley yet. I can now say that I have run into them on the Coastal Highway, but we haven't run into Pleasant Valley yet. Would still run into them. So if that happens, we'll get pinned down somewhere for quite a while. If the weather isn't good. So best to be a little bit prepared for that.
Too cold.
Okay. We're gonna use our lantern here. Lantern is pretty much fueled. We'll grab coal as we go, if we see it, and then we'll thin our inventory down when we get to the other end. Oh, this is a pile of coal. Hello, coal. And I can tell that this is all renewable coal because I have pretty sure I have been through here before and pulled all the coal I've run across. That's in like the normal walkway areas. Oh, it hasn't been a while, so that probably is a full respawn cycle of coal. So they're probably all replacements for ones we've taken before. which is why. Granted, the coal mine in theory has a lot of renewable coal. And we've been through here fairly recently. It's just we didn't take that fork in the road. Or did we take this bit of the fork in the road? Because we were coming the other way. We went down that way on the way in last time. Okay. Need to thin out the inventory a little bit. Oh, I probably do want the running river oats more than I want the coal. Oh, I forgot to leave the firewood behind. We'll leave the firewood here.
Too heavy.
Pushes the oats away. Yeah, quite a bit. Not unduly a bit, but just quite a bit. What are we looking at if we take 6 along? Okay, 2 kilograms over. We'll leave 3 of these behind then. 4 of these behind. Nice, currently sunny day in Pleasant Valley. We'll go feed ourselves in the cave. Yeah, I'll run a little bit of a longer, a little closer to the 40-minute episode, so we can get out to the farmstead in this part. And the next part will be us waiting for the Aurora to happen, and then getting out to the bunker. It is a little warmer than it was in Coastal Highway, by the looks of it. We do want to make good time in Pleasant Valley, because Pleasant Valley, drop of the hat and goes real cold, real blizzardy. And sort of the most optimal travel vector for us is not a very good vector for staying warm.
Can't feel my feet.
Okay. Quickly munch down some maroon bear meat. Hydrate up. And we'll be ready to hit the road again. Is there anything I want to do while we're here? Oh yes, I've got some surplus to requirement clothes here to disassemble. We'll give us something to warm up doing. So that's probably longer than we want to be harvesting for, but at least we'll be warm by the time we're ready to leave. Ooh, the warmth has improved, not worsened. So my worst fears have not been realized. It's always a good place to be.
Come on.
Take a lit torch with us for safety. It'll protect us from wolves. Technically makes it a little bit more of a bear magnet, but I'd rather be warned by the bear and then have to take evasive maneuvers than be jumped by a bear because I walked a little too close using the stealth and not having a torch out. And I believe the bear is up. I think we've seen the bear since the last time we killed him here. There is a bear in this area over here. That sometimes wanders down close as the gas station. Pleasant Valley gas station. So I'm going to cut the corner here so we're less likely to run into that bear. And I'm going to resist the desire to sprint. Because it is warm enough we're not... It's warm enough I don't need to waste the fatigue to get somewhere faster. I think I muted the mic before I coughed there. Here we are at Thompson's Crossing. We'll drop into the community center quickly, just to do a inventory once over. Don't think there's anything I want to necessarily pick up or drop off here, but we'll take a quick look. Fuel, this is a good place to leave fuel. What's my rabbit mitts looking like? Looking decent. Necessarily be the end of the world to drag a set of tools out. There's the
That'll
tools.
come in handy.
Sure, we'll take the tools with us. A couple of different ways to get to where we're going. I think I'm going to follow the road here. Well, vaguely follow the road here. Which... is harder to get lost on, is maybe a good way to think about it. Because the road's pretty visible in most weather. And as long as you don't get off the road too much. You will see it usually in a blizzard if you're on the road where the road ends, and where you have to take detours and stuff like that. Staying a little bit off the road so I can have opportunities to grab things like sticks. Not grabbing more right now because I don't mind being a little overweight, but there's being a little overweight and there's being a lot overweight. We're right at the weight limit. So when I use up this torch and dump it for the next one, I can pick another stick up. And 2 sticks for the next one, and 2 sticks for the next one. That's kind of where we want to be. Trade torches for sticks, and then when you stick the sticks in the next fire, you can trade leftover fuel for torches. Back and forth, back and forth. I think we've investigated that. I think that's a human. Nope, no, that one's a deer. We can see it from here. There's the deer. Dead deer. Game spawn deer, I believe. And I haven't taken the time to harvest because we don't need deer that bad. And when it's a choice between a non-renewable resource and a renewable resource, I tend to consume the renewable resource first. And that would be a non-renewable carcass, not one of the ones we can make. But yeah, assuming the weather doesn't change, we should be able to get all the way to the Pleasant Valley Farmstead, without taking any more damage. So, in that side effect, we'll just go straight there. There's no reason necessarily to stop in either of the barns along the way. So we can see that barn. If it was colder or we were like being hounded by a blizzard, we might take the detour over that barn over there to warm up. And then there's another barn along the way that I duck into semi-frequently for rabbit hunting. That's all. The rocks at the rabbits nearby to ding them and catch them. And then you put the rabbit craft nipples in the barn because there's a rabbit spawn next to the barn. But we're not looking for rabbit stuff, and probably didn't bring. Well, usually if you spend the time to harvest the rabbit, the calories from the rabbit meat is just the consolation prize for harvesting the rabbit hide and the rabbit gut. So you're usually not calorie positive, so you just eat the whole rabbit there and then. So there's probably no rabbit meat there. I think I actually ate most of the meat in the area where we're going, so little low on food. Which is one of the reasons I took the running river oats with us. Doing a little off-road here to see if we can see any sticks. And what? Carrying capacity started to decline? Yeah, the carrying capacity started to decline. Like, I should have the carrying capacity to carry 2 more without being overweight, but yeah, I'm overweight. Mental maths don't check, and then it realizes, like, oh, I'm below half fatigue, so I'm taking carrying capacity penalty. And then the math checked out. Take a little bit of a shortcut here. So the barn's just over there, behind the rocks here. We're going to cut the corner here, which means we're not going to go past the barn. If we went out and around, we'd go past the barn. And once I get up on the slope here, I'll probably point back and you can see the barn. So there's Pleasant Valley Farmstead. And, okay, we can't see the barn. Actually, no, you can see the barn roof right there. That's the Pleasant Valley barn. Or Farmstead barn. Not to be confused with the bigger barn that we didn't go to. Okay, so we got here, taking minimal damage with plenty of time to spare. So let's do Well, actually, this is a good place to put the part break in. So if you are watching on YouTube, there will be a part up tomorrow, where if everything goes according to plan, we will be finding the Pleasant Valley radio bunker. If you're watching Twitch, feel free to hang around. I'm going to mute the mic, stretch the legs, and be right back to doing that next part of the recording. So with that, wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.